Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to a Theme Park podcast. I'm recording this quick segment right now, literally right before I upload today's video, because some major Universal news has just been released and I wanted to get it into today's episode. So we're going to go over that right now, and then we will jump into the actual episode that I recorded yesterday. So, what is the big news? Well, the big news is Universal Studios Orlando, Universal Studios Islands of Adventure, and Universal Epic Universe has finally released tickets for the year 2026. That's right. Up until this point, we were not able to buy tickets for 2026. However, we finally have that opportunity now, and there's some big things in there that I want to make sure you guys know about if you're planning to go to the parks next year. So real quick, let's dive in. First, we're going to look at the single day tickets that they released, and we'll kind of see what the pricing is like. Let's start off with Epic Universe. That seems to be the hot topic that people are really excited about. The pricing is starting off at $139 per day. So as you can see here, they got things labeled by best value, standard price, or peak pricing. It's all color coded. When we scroll down to 2026, we can finally see that we can purchase these tickets for Epic Universe single day tickets. Looks like in January, the high is going to be $194, and then the low end is going to be, looks like I'm seeing $164 for the low end here in the middle of the weeks. February gets a little bit cheaper, a lot of $164, a lot of $169 in there. And then it does peak a couple of weekends at $184, $194. March looking like around the same thing with the average that I'm seeing, $184 a night. And then so on. The summer, let's scroll down to the summer. Summer looking like in July, $179 all across the board every single day. So there you have it. There's your pricing for Epic Universe single day tickets. But stay tuned because I've got something that you might want to know about. Before we get to that, though, let's check out what the single day park tickets are looking like for Universal and Islands. Let's just look at the multiple parks per day for one day tickets. It seems to me that that is the one that most people go to because you want to be able to move freely between Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios in one day, especially if you've been to the parks before. You know what you like, you know what you don't like. So those tickets are starting at $174. Don't forget, though, these are the park hopper tickets, so you can go between both of the classic parks. So for January, looking like it starts at $229, goes down to $199. February, pretty much the same thing. $219 actually during the winter break time. $219, $214, March $209, $219. Okay, but now the big one. This is the one that you should be highly considering if you're planning a trip to Orlando next year. All right, so when you go over and you click 3 days or more, you're going to see some package deals kind of pop up here. So they've got this one deal. It's called a 3-day ticket, and it says enjoy 2 days to move freely between Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, plus one separate full day at Epic Universe. So you get to move freely. You get a park hopper pass between the OG theme parks for 2 days, and then you get 1 day at Epic Universe. Those are starting at $156 per day. Now, if you wanted to upgrade that a little bit more, you can do a 4-park day and add Volcano Bay into the mix. Also, you can upgrade further and you can actually park hop between all 3 theme parks for 3 days. So you can move freely between Epic Universe, Studios, and Islands of Adventure with this exclusive ticket right here. This is the ticket option that I would suggest to everyone because this is going to give you flexibility. You're moving freely between those parks. You get to use the Hogwarts Express. It's starting at $138 per day, right? You hit select, you get the pricing here. Now, let's just say I wanted to go in the first week of February. I want to go on, the first day is going to be on Monday the 2nd. What they do is they give you 3 days between the next 5 days to check in and to have your park days. So you don't have to do them all 3 in a row. You can go Monday, you can go Wednesday, and you can go Friday. So when you add all of that up, it comes to $481. Let's just add it to the cart to get the final price. So for your final price on this new ticket package, this park hopper ticket package, 3 days at all 3 parks to move freely, it comes to $513. When you divide 513 by 3 days, that equals out to $171. I think this is a decent deal for people that want to move freely and kind of get the most out of their stay. If you don't care about park hopping, then maybe this isn't the option for you. Maybe you want to go with something a little bit different to save some money. But I thought that this would be a smash hit for people that want to, just go absolutely crazy and just hit up all their favorite rides for 3 days straight throughout all 3 parks. So there you guys have it on that front. And then if you are an annual pass holder, tickets for Epic Universe are now starting at $127 per day. Now, that will go up based on what day you're trying to be at the parks. I'm seeing 173 at the beginning of January, all the way down to 148. You guys get the point. If you go to the website, you can look into things yourselves. But I did want to let you guys know before we start today's episode that we officially can buy tickets for Universal Studios theme parks in Orlando for the year of 2026. It's officially time to start planning your trips, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment and I'll try to answer them for you. And in case anybody was wondering, it doesn't look like Epic Universe will be included in any of the annual passes for 2026. At least that's the case now. That can change, but as of now, there is no options for that. But all right, that's it for that quick update that I wanted to make sure you guys knew right at the top since this news just broke this morning. Now let's get into today's official episode. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to a Theme Park podcast. I am your host, Frankie Screams, back with you again for another episode of the show. Here we are, episode 19, and as always, it is a fully loaded show. That's right, today we're talking theme park news all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast. We've got even some outside of Disney and Universal news to cover. So today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. We're going to section everything off by theme parks. So we'll start off with all Universal news, and then we'll jump over to Disney, and then we'll do everything else after that. Let's just see how it all goes. We're going to start today with Universal news. It seems like that would be the right thing to do. And we're starting off with the big news. The Universal Kids Resort details have been revealed. So if you guys didn't know, Universal Studios is opening up a kids resort / theme park just outside of Dallas, Texas. It is set to open next year, 2026. It has been it's been in development. It's been under construction for quite some time now, and it looks like we're getting really close to opening because just a couple of days ago they announced all the names and some of the attractions coming for all of the different lands and ride opportunities, meet and greet opportunities, all of that. So I figured for today's to kick off today's episode, why not jump right into this? Attractionsmagazine.com put together a great article here going over everything. This is coming from Blake Taylor. Universal Kids Resort, a new theme park, will open in 2026 near Dallas, Texas. Right now, if you guys are watching on YouTube, I've got the concept art for this theme park land, and you can see everything that they have planned here. It looks like a nice little I shouldn't say little. It looks like a decent size kids resort here. Right off the top, I do want to say, like, if you're seeking thrills, if you're, a teenager and up, this probably isn't going to be your theme park. But if you've got kids or if you plan to have kids, this is going to be like a dream come true for children, I have to say, by taking a look at everything. Having a huge SpongeBob SquarePants bikini bottom land is, I would have dreamed for that when I was a kid. Same with like the Jurassic World Adventure Camp area, the Shrek Swamp area. We're going to go over everything that they have, but we're not going to go too far into it because I don't even know if my listeners care about this kind of theme park opening, but it is worth reporting on. This is big theme park news, so we got to talk about it. They officially revealed all the names of the lands. We'll go over that, and we'll go over some of the artwork and things like that. We're going to start off with DreamWorks Shrek Swamp. First, we have Shrek and Fiona's Happily Org After, a ride showing how an org and a princess were enchanted by love. Then we've got Shrek's Swamp Splash and Smash. It is a playground built by Shrek for his triplets. And then there's also a meet and greet area. The concept art that I'm looking at doesn't really reveal too much. It looks like it is the front facade of this new ride. As far as we can tell, we don't know what this this happily org after ride is. By looking at the concept art, and we'll open this in a new tab and kind of zoom in a little bit here. Here is the area right here. To me, this looks like the facade right here, the top of that facade. So this looks like the building for this ride. It is a decent sized building. It's probably going to be some sort of dark ride. Nothing too spectacular or anything like that, but I'm sure it'll be cool for the kids. And then a splash pad area, and then a meet and greet area. Plus, I'm sure like a restaurant or quick service area. Moving on to Nickelodeon's SpongeBob SquarePants Bikini Bottom, Mrs. Puff's Boating School. It is unnamed officially, but that does look like what we are getting. Pineapple Paradise is another play area. Muscle Beach, a relaxation zone. And then meet and greets with SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, and Squidward. Looking at the artwork here, looks like, where is that boat ride? It looks like the boat ride is like just like a flat ride kind of thing. Oh, maybe this is the boat area. I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna really go deep into trying to predict what all this map stuff is. Moving on, Minions. This area is actually going to have a pretty sick water raft ride. It has not been announced yet, but here is the concept art for it. It does look like it is going to be one of the bigger attractions here at the Universal Kids Resort. You can see it in the concept art. It does go pretty far across the land through this area right here. Goes up this way towards SpongeBob. But it does look like it's almost like the centerpiece too. I believe, yeah, once you walk in from this way, this will be the first big attraction that you see. So it is basically the centerpiece of this theme park. Other than that, there will be a meet and greet area with the Minions as well. Next up, we have the Jurassic World Adventure Camp area. This area does have a kids coaster, and then it has like a huge jungle gym / playground area for the kids. In the concept art, you can see the coaster right here. Looks like a nice little decent sized kids coaster. Nothing out of the, nothing that's going to blow your mind or anything like that. It's for families. But yeah, the adventure camp area does look pretty big. Has that one ride, and then obviously the big play area, meet and greet area, things like that. If you guys couldn't tell, that's basically what every single land at this theme park has. It has at least one ride, a meet and greet area, and then like a playground area. Moving on to the DreamWorks Trolls Fest. This is another area that will have its own kids coaster. You can see it right here in the artwork. And then there also seems to be, this sort of like kids, what do they call this right here? Like a kid's balloon ride. What do you call that? What do they have? Yeah, just call it a balloon ride. They're calling it the Sparkle Shine Glitter Glow Balloon Ride. Then you got the kiddie coaster, doesn't have a name yet. There's a Trolls Pop It Up Dance Party. There's a Poppy's Playland area, another area for the Critter Crawl. There's a Sensory Garden, and then there is a Bro Zone Cones, which looks like it's going to be a dining area. So the Trolls area is pretty big. It has a lot going on. But let's go down to the DreamWorks Puss in Boots area. So this area is going to have a swing ride. It's going to have a puppet show, some carnival games, another sensory garden, and then, of course, the meet and greets. This area right here. Not sure what this huge building is because you got the swing ride right there. I'm guessing this will be for dining of some sort. Maybe one of the play areas is indoors because I don't really see much space. And then the final spot is the Isle of Curiosity featuring Gabby's Dollhouse. This is when you first walk into the area. There's no rides or anything like that confirmed. I guess it's just going to be an area where you can meet Gabby. But let's move on to the next Universal Studios update. We're going to jump over to Orlando's resort. And we're starting off with some pretty big news that broke about a day after the last recording that I did. Believe it or not, Universal Studios is now testing out its own version of Lightning Lane single attraction passes. So they're calling it the Express Pass for single attractions. Oh, I'm sorry. They're calling it the Universal Express Single Attraction Access, which is a really long name for that. But basically, it is the same thing as the Disney Lightning Lane. What you can do is, instead of having an express pass, you can just pay a one-time fee to get straight to the front of the line. At least that's what they're promoting. So they just started this off last week, and they're only offering 2 rides right now. They're offering Kong Reign of Terror at Islands of Adventure, and then they're offering this on the Mummy ride at Universal Studios. So what are they charging? They're charging $25 per ride. So that might make you say, why would anybody spend $25 to skip the ride at Kong when usually the longest that ride will ever be is like 20 to 30 minutes on a busy day usually? So why Kong? I have no idea. I guess it's because this is a brand new thing and they're slowly rolling it out, and they don't want to roll it out on a huge ride like Velocicoaster or Hagrid's and cause all kinds of problems. We're going to work out everything on some smaller attractions and see how things go. But I did want to read this here from Attractions Magazine because they bring a couple of good points up. The option may expand or change to other attractions later. A Universal spokesperson told Attractions Magazine, "We are always evaluating our offerings and exploring ways to enhance the guest experience. While Universal Express single attraction access is currently a limited time offering at select attractions, there is a possibility that future availability may expand, change, or vary by attraction." So how do you get access to this? You cannot do this through the app. I can't go on the app right now and check this out. You have to be at the park in person. You'll look for these little A-frame signs that are outside the rides. You'll scan this QR code. That will open up a section of the app where you can purchase the one-time single express pass for $25. Now, I can't confirm, but I did see that it might have dropped down to $20 for a day or two, and it might be back to $25 now. I'm not too sure on that, but it does look like they are experimenting. They're seeing what is going to work, what price options are going to work. My thoughts on this, I don't know if this is going to work well for, let's say, like Hagrid's, right? Because somebody like me, going to the park, I might not do the regular express pass, that I spend, close to $200 on. Actually, yeah, it costs $210 for a Universal Express Pass. Maybe I'll skip out on spending $210 and just do $25 for an Hagrid's ride, right? And then maybe do 2 Hagrid's rides for $50. I can see a lot of the diehards doing that too, and then that would take away a lot of money from Express. So I don't know if that's something they want to do. Maybe they do. I don't know, but everyone's going to be, spending $100 to do 4 rides of Hagrid's back to back to back to back. And it might just, flood up the lines even more than what they have now. I don't know. We're going to have to see. Well, hopefully they will experiment a little bit with Hagrid's. I'd like to see it come to Hagrid's. I'd like to see it come to Velocicoaster and some of the other big rides that are at the theme parks. But this is a pretty big deal. It is exciting for a lot of people. And I say it all the time, but we're just going to see how it all plays out and see if it's worth it for us or if it's a bust. But as of now, you can do this. But I just don't know if it's worth $25 for the Mummy and Kong, because usually the wait times for those rides aren't that bad. You can even get away with jumping in single rider lines for those. So, yeah. Moving on. Speaking of more Universal Orlando upgrades, new things that they're testing, they did raise the pricing for parking at Universal Orlando, but they have introduced a way that you can save a little bit of money, and it seems like they're going to be really pushing for this. So this is coming from Universally Addicted on Facebook. They wrote the other day, Universal Orlando has introduced prepaid regular self-parking at its garages and at Universal Epic Universe. Guests can save $3 on standard self-parking fees by purchasing daily parking in advance for $30. $30 now to park. You can save $3 if you do it online. That's basically the story there. Let's move on. Story number 4, Universal Wicked Store update. So the Wicked Store at Universal Orlando is getting a major update, major upgrade here. Starting on October 31st at noon on Halloween Day, you can enjoy a thrillifying, immersive experience featuring new magic from Wicked for Good. Check out the authentic and replica film costumes, exclusive merch, and more at Universal Orlando. So this is pretty exciting news for those Wicked fans out there. The Wicked store is going to get a little bit of an upgrade here. Here's a new picture opportunity that you can take with a broom. Here is a new food option, and here is another brand new drink option. These are 21 plus beverages. They look great though. They look delicious. So yeah, if you're a huge Wicked fan, I think there's a little bit more out there as far as like images that you can check out. So you might want to do that on your own time. But we're going to keep it moving. Next up, Rip Ride Rocket Lift is officially gone. I was going to say moved, but no, we didn't move it. It's officially gone. Let's take a look at what it looks like. The skyline without it looks really, really strange. As you can see, big open sky now. We got the crane still there working on the last final piece right here. This is the last piece of Rip Ride Rocket. But look at this iconic spot right here that everybody knows no longer has the lift hill. It is officially gone. And it's just so crazy to me that they did this during Halloween Horror Nights. They did not wait at all. As you guys know, the second that they closed this ride back in, I believe it was August or maybe July or August. But anyway, the second that they closed Rip Ride Rocket, they instantly started knocking it down. And then even through the Halloween Horror Nights festivities, they're still working on it. They're still getting things cleared out of the way. Universal is up to something, man. With this new, whatever's going to replace Rip Ride Rocket, this is something that the park, the park executives, everybody involved, they are all excited about this, and they want to see this, this new ride pop up as quickly as possible because they're not wasting any time. We've speculated on what could this brand new ride be that's going to be taking this area. Is it going to be a Fast and Furious Hollywood drift roller coaster? Are we getting our own? Is it going to be the Ghostbusters ride that they've been teasing? Is it going to be a Back to the Future ride that they've also been teasing? A lot of rumors are swirling out there. But yeah, guys, you can see the official lift tower is gone. And before you know it, they're going to be doing, I mean, they've already started construction on whatever this new ride is. They've put in some footers. They've done some cement pouring and things like that. We just don't know what it's going to be yet. I'm really hoping for, I don't know. I'm going to make a prediction right now. Right after the madness of the holiday season, I think we'll get an announcement on what this is going to be. I'm guessing sometime early 2026, let's say January at some point. And I think it's going to be a big one. It's not going to be something small. I even think there's a possibility that they get rid of the Jimmy Fallon ride and they get rid of all of those buildings that are over there, or a good portion of them. But let's keep it all moving along. Universal Orlando Mardi Gras 2026 early info has been released. So Universal Studios loves to do these seasonal events. They're always a big hit at the parks. Is set for February 7th until April 4th, 2026. It is included with your theme park ticket. This is not some type of extra add-on that you have to pay for. Real quick, this is what they say on the website. It's unforgettable springtime fun for everyone. Enjoy a spectacular parade on select nights, outrageous street performers, vibrant music, colorful costumes, and countless beads flying through the air. Then they're going to have, different food opportunities, different food options that normally aren't there at Universal. Some Cajun specialties and flavors from around the world is what they're promoting. It looks like the festivities are going to be beginning April 7th. That's not too long away. If you are going to the park between April 7th and April 4th, just know that, these kind of seasonal events do bring in a bunch of extra people to the parks. So it is going to increase the park attendance. I will say, if you're somebody that doesn't care about something like this, but you're trying to get to Universal in early 2025, I think a really good time to go to Universal would be anywhere from like the middle of January until the beginning of February. I think that's going to be a nice little 3-week time frame where the parks shouldn't be too busy. It'll be, right after the Christmas/holiday festivities. Those are, a huge draw. So that will all be finishing. The parks will calm down a little bit. Hopefully the park hours will be back to normal, because I'm not a fan of the parks closing so early during like Halloween Horror Nights. It's really annoying. Yeah, I think it'd be a good time to go right before Mardi Gras starts if you don't care about this kind of thing. And I just want to let you guys know, I did book my next trip. My next trip is going to be from January 31st until around February 5th. And I'm really stoked for it. Main reason why I'm going is because I want to be there for the closure of Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom. But I will be spending a couple of days at Universal Studios as well. If you're considering a trip, I would really, really suggest going around that time. But all right, let's go over to one more Orlando story from Universal, and that is the fact that Finnigan's Bar and Grill is closing for an extended period of time. This is coming from the Kingdom Insider on Facebook, I believe it was. Just a screenshot that I got here. They said Finnigan's Bar and Grill at Universal Studios will be closing its doors in January 2026 for a major year-long refurbishment. A lot of people are speculating that is it going to come back as Finnigan's, or is it going to be something different? Because a year is a pretty long time, and Universal right now is in like overdrive overhaul mode. They're changing a lot about all of their theme parks. They're not slowing down at all. So for them to, why would you have to close Finnegan's for over a year? Like, what possibly could you do? Like, the only thing I can think of is this restaurant is getting a retheme of some sort, and it's going to be, maybe it's going to be a major retheme. Maybe they're seeing how Disney is stepping up their game with some of their restaurants. The opening of the Beak and Barrel, the Geo 82 adult restaurant that opened up at Epcot this year. Maybe they're noticing that, some of their restaurants aren't that themed and aren't that exciting, and maybe they're going to step it up a little bit. I could see that being the case because a year is a long time. But let's jump over to Hollywood because I do have some Universal Hollywood news for you. The first one that I have, and this is coming from InsideUniversal.net. Let's see if the author gave themselves credit. This is from Brian Glenn over at InsideUniversal.net. Universal Studios Hollywood has begun offering a new guided theme park tour. This is an add-on for park guests. It starts at $200 per person, and here's what is included. You get an unlimited express pass. That means you can keep going into the express line as many times as you want, on as many rides as you want. You also have an expert guiding walking tour. You also will have a meal at a designated in-park or City Walk restaurant. And then there's also complimentary valet parking. The author, Brian, goes on to say here, unlike the VIP experience add-on, which starts at $250 per person, the guided theme park tour skips the Universal Studios backlot VIP trolley tour. So if you don't care about that backlot tour and you want that unlimited express pass and you do want some sort of little extra perk with the, the guided walking tour and then the meal and then valet parking, this might be more your speed. Like I said, it's $200 per person. Just want to make sure you guys knew about that because it is a pretty big change. Next up, Hollywood Drift, the brand new coaster at Hollywood Studios, has officially dropped some images from their testing. They're testing, just so you know. I should say that first. Hollywood Drift is officially testing, everybody. And then they've also released some of these photos here. Let's take a quick look. It's a first-person view right at the front of the train here. Let's see. The next one shows the actual trains going upside down, possibly right over the escalator. I'm not sure what area that is. There's another picture of it. And looks like one more of an upside down shot. So very, very exciting that they're testing. And I'm going to actually jump over to another YouTube creator who was on the scene. This is coming from America's Coaster Network. This, I don't know this gentleman's name here, but he was on the scene while they were testing. And he actually caught footage of the train getting stuck. Here you can see. But yeah, you can see the train here was stuck for a pretty decent time. And they did have some engineers and some workers up near the ride vehicle while it was stuck working on it. What does this all mean? I don't know. I think it's just all good news. They're testing it. They're probably troubleshooting. They're making problems happen so they can figure out how they're going to solve them. That would be my guess. But it's good news, man. We're getting really, really close to the opening of this roller coaster. It's going to be a huge deal. It looks like it's going to be a thrill seeker's dream. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait, and I can't wait until they release the official on-board footage, the POV footage for the first time. That's going to be an exciting day here on the podcast when we get to check that out. What do we got next? All right, next, and I think this is the final Universal update of the day. I might have to double check on that. But Universal's Hollywood's Waterworld is celebrating 30 years this week. The anniversary was just a couple of days ago. Waterworld is a fan favorite stunt show. It's been there since Universal Studios Hollywood opened. It is, people talk about this thing like it is the greatest stunt show of all time. I've never seen it. I've never been. I've never watched online. But from the little stuff, the little things that I have seen here and there, it does look amazing. Now, I do want to say that I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts in the world, For Your Amusement, and Byron on the show said that he heard some rumors that Waterworld was going to be closing, which is hard to believe for me that they would get rid of something. But when you start to think about it, it's been there for 30 years. It's millions and millions and millions of people have gotten to experience this. It takes up a pretty big blueprint at the park. Could they be getting rid of this to update it with, update the area with a brand new major e-ticket ride? Or could they possibly want to bring in some sort of new live stunt show that is something a little bit more up to date with Universal's current IP? Because let's face it, Waterworld was a failure of a movie from like the 80s. It didn't do well at all. People say it's kind of corny too. I've never seen it, so I can't really judge. But if Byron is saying he's hearing those rumors, he said something about maybe some permits going around. I can kind of believe that just because, Universal is big on trying to push their current IP, and, they've got a lot of new big IP that still hasn't made an impression at the theme parks yet. So could Waterworld be seeing its final days? I don't know, but that motivates me. This rumor motivates me to get over to California so I can experience this at least once before they get rid of it. But who knows? Maybe it's all rumors and speculation and it's not even happening. Let's jump over to our Disney World and Disneyland topics of the day. We're going to start off at Disney World. This is the big one. Disney is celebrating America's 250th birthday. That is right. Disney Parks blog made the official announcement that Disney is joining a once-in-a-lifetime celebration of our nation's 250th anniversary with a new initiative called Disney Celebrates America. It's kicking off on Veterans Day 2025 and continuing through July 4th, 2026. There's a lot going on with this celebration, but the biggest thing that I think that my listeners would care about is Soaring Across America is coming to both Disney Resort and Disneyland. That's right. Soarin' is getting a Across America new overlay, I guess you would call it, new immersive flight experience. It says here, it's an immersive flight experience aboard the beloved Soarin' attraction. Will take guests on a breathtaking journey, highlighting some of the country's natural beauty and iconic cityscapes. The celebration on July 4th with a 24-hour multi-platform broadcast called Disney Celebrates America. This is going to be a broadcast that goes on Disney Plus, Hulu, ABC, the Disney Channel, ESPN, basically all of their channels. They're going to be, celebrating America's birthday right from the parks. They're going to be filming TV shows from there, like the late night shows, the morning shows. Everything is all going to be happening from the Disney parks. If you do want to learn more about this, go to DisneyParksBlog.com. I think Soarin' is a really good, versatile ride for fun stuff like this. They've done things like this in the past with it, but this will be the first time we're ever getting Soarin' Across America. Nice little touch, nice little extra thing to hold us over a little bit while Disney works on all of these other bigger updates that are coming to the theme parks, and gives us another reason to go to the theme parks, which I always appreciate. Moving on, Disney World is going fully cashless. So this just started a couple of days ago. This is coming from DisneyFanatic.com. Luke Daman is the author behind this article here. He writes that Walt Disney World has embarked on an exciting journey towards a cashless system, aiming to simplify transactions for its guests. The initiative marks a significant shift in how visitors interact with the park. As guests scroll through the parks, they may notice new signs indicating cashless location. Please pay with credit card, Disney gift card, or mobile payment. So basically what's going on is Disney World will eventually be 100% cashless at their theme parks. Right now, they're slowly rolling it out. A lot of the food service areas are the ones that are starting it off. Then it'll probably be gift shops and things like that. And I didn't have it as one of the news stories for Universal because I couldn't confirm it. But somebody on Reddit did say that it looks like Universal is also going to be starting something like this. I believe it was the City Walk restaurants that are starting to be cashless. So maybe next week I'm reporting when I can make that official, but maybe I'm reporting that Universal is going to be doing the same as well. Next for you, Jungle Cruise is officially turning into Jingle Cruise once again for the holiday season coming up at Magic Kingdom and Disney World. There is no official announcement on when this starts. I tried to look into it. I couldn't find anything, so I'll have to report on that next week or whenever I find out. But did want to let you guys know Jingle Cruise is on its way back. Jumping over to Hollywood Studios, the Toy Story Mania exit refurbishment ends as walls and scrims come down. The exit area for Toy Story Mania has been under refurbishment for like 5 years, no joke. Not sure why it took that long because as you can see from this image right here, it's just a couple of set props here. I don't know why they took this long to do this, but they finally have finished it up. So yeah, make sure you guys look out for that because if you've been to the parks in the last 5 years, you would have seen some construction walls up instead of this whole area right here. Now we're going to jump over to Epcot because Remy's Ratatouille Adventure has officially announced that it is getting rid of the 3D aspect of this attraction. That's right, guys. Another ride in I guess all of the theme park industry here is deciding to transition away from 3D and go back to good old 2D. I think this is a major plus. I just got back from Orlando a couple of weeks ago. I went on Remy's 3 different times, and I just think the 3D feels outdated now. I really do, especially when you go on rides like Ministry of Magic or Monsters Unchained, and you see what these brand new high definition screens look like. These mega high definition screens. They look way cooler than 3D could ever look like. Is that what's happening with Remy's? Are they going to get rid of all their screens and put all these brand new screens? No, unfortunately, that's not the case. The ride is only going to be down for 3 days while they do this changeover. But it's a step in the right direction. Maybe when the time is right, they will do an extended closure and update the screens on that ride because I can't see this ride getting replaced within the next 20 years. I just don't see that happening. I could see them, though, stepping up the game with the screens and putting in these brand new super high def screens in there. But as of now, it's just going to be a quick changeover. It's only going to be closed from November 10th until the 13th. And yeah, so if you love the 3D aspect of it, you might want to get over there really quickly and get your last rides in. But I think this is a huge plus. We've seen Kong Reign of Terror do this a couple of years back, and that was for the better. We've seen other rides do this as well. Actually, they did it for this ride at Disneyland Paris, and people thought it was a huge improvement. Also, another thing about the 3D is it makes people feel sick. Even though it's a kid's ride, there are some aspects that can make people feel sick. I know my friend got sick on it, and he can do rides like he did Space Mountain, and he did Orange Space Mountain, didn't get sick at all. And then he goes on Remy's and he got sick from the 3D. So it's wild. But yeah, if you want to have, Remy's be this family ride, you want anyone to be able to go on it, enjoy it, and to be able to keep going on it over and over again, this is the right move. So I'm happy to see that happening. All right, guys, that is your update for Disney and Universal today, but we're not quite done yet. I do have some other theme park news stories for you. We're also going to be talking about how the Orlando Airport MCO is making a huge upgrade. They're actually opening a ride there, so that's pretty sick. We're talking about the roller coaster museum has a huge update. And then something about SeaWorld getting a lawsuit. So we'll dive into all that next. But first, I just want to throw out some housekeeping stuff at you. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel if you're not. That way, you know, the YouTube algorithm knows that you're enjoying the content and you want to see more of this pop up on your feed. Same thing with that like button. And then also the same thing with the new hype feature that YouTube videos have. If you look somewhere on this YouTube player right now, you'll see a button to hype this video. That'll go a long way. It really is like a huge boost for for younger, smaller channels like mine. So I think you can do one hype per day. If you're listening on audio podcast platforms, give us a 5-star review. That will help me out as well. But that's it for the housekeeping. Let's jump into the rest of all this theme park news that I have for you guys. There is quite a bit of stories here as well. Starting off with the big one. This just went live yesterday. This is coming from attractionsmagazine.com. Blake Taylor, once again. Here's what he wrote. Travis Kelce, along with Jana Partners and 2 other business executives, invested in Six Flags with approximately 9% ownership stake. The following 4 parties now collectively own 9% of Six Flags. That's the Jana Partners. They are an investment company. Travis Kelce, who, if you didn't know, is the fiance of Taylor Swift, and he's also an NFL player and Super Bowl champion. Glenn Murphy, who is a consumer executive and currently the CEO of FIS Holdings. And then David Habiger, a technology and media executive and currently vice chairman of JD Power. I'm going to finish reading up the story and then I'll give my thoughts. Jana hopes to meet with Six Flags board of directors regarding opportunities to enhance shareholder value and improve the guest experience. Travis Kelce said in a statement, "I am a lifelong Six Flags fan and grew up going to the parks with my family and friends. The chance to help make Six Flags special for the next generation is one I couldn't pass up." Travis and his brother Jason have discussed their frequent child love for Cedar Point on their podcast New Heights. So it's not like that's like a bullshit line that he came up with. This is actually something he's talked about in the past. "We look forward to working with Six Flags board and management to unlock shareholder value for the benefit of all stakeholders," is what Scott said from Jana, managing partner. He went on to say, "We appreciate the perspective of shareholders and take their feedback seriously as we continue to advance our initiatives to increase attendance, enhance our guest experience, and drive profitable growth." This just adds on to everything that's been going on with Six Flags over the last 2 years now. The company continues to see shakeups with their board of directors, with their CEOs. Like this company just never stops. Ever since Cedar Fair and Six Flags merged, it's just been nonstop shuffle mania in the board of directors and owners and investors and all of this stuff. Blake Taylor went on to say in this article at the end here, "In the 15 months since the merge with Cedar Fair, Six Flags has removed park presidents from all locations, reduced its full-time staff by more than 10%, and announced permanent closure of its parks near Washington, D.C. The company's also continued announcing and opening new attractions." I want to just say it right now, but Six Flags, the company, will be downsizing. They are going to continue closing parks. They're going to make parks smaller. They're going to invest in their big hit parks for sure. They're going to keep, all the big hitters are still going to get love and are still going to get updates, and the big parks aren't going away. But you best believe that they're going to be closing parks down. They're going to be trying to please these investors and shareholders as much as they can. So what is that going to take? That's going to take closing parks down. That's going to take shutting rides down that are just, cost way too much to continue to operate. I don't think you have to worry about those big parks, though. The Cedar Fairs, the Great Adventures, the Knott's Berry Farms, things like that. I don't think you have to worry about those parks getting affected too much. But if you do live next to one of the smaller parks, there are reasons to believe that they could be downsizing or even closing altogether. That's just my prediction. It is a huge, huge story in the industry. Travis Kelce, he's about to marry Taylor Swift. He's one of the most talked about celebrities in the world right now. It's a big deal. It is a big, big deal to have him be a part of Six Flags. It's good news for Six Flags now that they have, a positive face for the company. They really haven't had a popular face for the company, somebody that can help share big news. On his social media, he's got really, really active social media. He's got a lot of followers on social media. Now, when Six Flags makes big updates, he's going to be the one to put the news out there most likely. And just, through his presence alone, through his promotion alone, it's going to be a huge boost for Six Flags marketing. So this was a smart play here by Jana Partners teaming up with Travis. All right. After that, we're going to jump over to this MCO. Orlando International Airport is going under a huge refurbishment. Huge future plans are in place. This is also coming from Blake Taylor at Attractions Magazine. Orlando airport travelers can expect major changes at MCO in Orlando, including a robotic arm ride and no more boarding passes for flights as the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority rolls out its 10-year plan. So what are the plans here exactly? Well, first off, facial recognition and biometric scanning is coming. So boarding passes are going to be a thing of the past. Everything is going to be facial recognition now. There's also going to be a new hotel that's getting built, 8,000 more parking spaces by 2030. And then they are doing a VR and AR, or I guess two different rides, a VR and AR ride. The concept art that they showed for this VR ride right here, it looks like you're on a Kuga arm system, the same arm system that Forbidden Journey and Monsters Unchained is. It looks like it's something like that, except you're just like in a warehouse building wearing VR glasses. My question is, who wants to go on a ride at the airport, especially when you're in Orlando? Like, when you're in Orlando, you're going to Orlando to go on the rides. You're going to Universal. You're going to Disney. You're going to SeaWorld. You're going to Busch Gardens. Why would you want to go on a ride at the airport? Like, you go to the airport and you don't want to spend a lot of time at the airport. You go to the airport, you get there when you absolutely have to get there. You know what I mean? You're not getting there to go shopping and to go ride rides. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But like, are you really going to go out of your way, away from your gate and all that, just to jump on some VR ride when you're in Orlando? You just went on a bunch of rides at the theme parks. I don't know. I just think it's really gimmicky, and I don't know if it's going to be worth the investment on that one. But you guys let me know what you think. Is this something you're excited about? Are you going to plan to get to the airport earlier now so you have time to go on a VR ride? Me personally, I would never do that. I would use my time wisely. And if I have extra time, I would, go hit up Disney Springs or maybe even hit up a theme park for a half day or something. I wouldn't want to go to the airport early. Here's some concept artwork of everything that they have going on. Oh, new baggage area coming, new cargo processing facility coming. So they're doing a lot. This is going to be about a 5 to 6 year, I guess you can call it, construction phase here. But it's a big deal for people that are going in and out of this airport a lot. I will say this is probably going to cause a lot of construction sites while you're trying to navigate the airport. It's probably going to make navigating the airport a little bit more complicated with all the construction going on. They're probably going to have sections closed off. It'll probably be a little bit tighter. Things will be a little bit tighter until they finish everything up and open it all up. But yeah, it's gonna take some time. It's actually a 10-year game plan, not even 5, a 10-year game plan, but you will start to see some of those major changes by 2030. All right, couple more updates for you guys. The roller coaster museum in Texas, which has been under development, I'll call it, for about 10 years now, maybe even a little bit more than that. They're getting really close to opening is what they're saying. So this whole museum has been like fan funded. They have been, raising money for a long time to cover costs to get these buildings up to code so that they can open it to the public. Blake Taylor, once again, over at Attractions Magazine, is reporting this. The National Roller Coaster Museum installed its entranceway from a former coaster track inversion. That's actually the Corkscrew from Canopy Lake, which is right by me in Salem, New Hampshire. It was originally, though, a roller coaster that was called the Chicago Loop at the old Chicago Park that opened in 1975. Then they moved it over to Corkscrew. They moved it over to Canopy, where it became the Canopy Corkscrew. But then it ended up closing in 2022. And they brought this piece of track here, this inversion track. It's going to be the official entranceway for this museum. And this is what the owner, Jeff, had to say. The president had to say. He said, "The museum is no longer a dream. It is a reality being built right now. This project represents one of the biggest logistical challenges we've ever faced. And thanks to the support of our industry partners and fans, the vision for this facility has rapidly transformed into a concrete, powerful reality." Right now, they're about 90% of the way with finishing fundraising on this huge project. So they are putting $225,000 towards some of the construction that they had to do. Like I said, they're trying to get up to code on things, but they're getting really, really close. And it looks like we could be seeing this museum open really soon. This place has a lot of really cool things there. Some of it includes vehicles from Six Flags Great Adventures Kingda Ka. They got the Busch Gardens Williamsburg original version of the Big Bad Wolf, plus a whole bunch of other things. There's a couple of videos on YouTube where some YouTubers were able to get tours, and you can see all of the really cool stuff that they have there. I'd suggest you do that if you're interested in this. This museum is located in Plainview, Texas. But yeah, I'm on the Roller Coaster Museum website. They do have more images you can check out as well. But very exciting news. There was a lot of people that thought that this would never open, this museum would never open. I can definitely say with some confidence now that it doesn't seem like they just want to be a private collection type of museum, and they want to actually be a museum that's open for the public. So good news there. I've got one more story for you today, and that is about SeaWorld Orlando is being sued. This is coming from WFTV9.com. It's the local news station out there. James Tutton is the author on this article. James writes, Orlando, Florida, SeaWorld is facing a lawsuit accusing the company of using bait and switch tactics to attract customers. The lawsuit says that SeaWorld lied about the true cost of tickets, violating Virginia's all-in pricing law, which requires businesses to clearly display the total price of goods and services, including fees. So they were hiding the extra cost of fees and like taxes and things like that on their website. And that breaks the law in Virginia. Obviously, the website was able to be viewed in Virginia. Therefore, they broke the law, and now they're facing a lawsuit. Not much else to say on that, but damn SeaWorld, get your shit together and fix that. All right, guys, that is it for today's news update. I feel like we breezed right through all of the news stories, but we did get through a lot as well. So let me know what you guys think of this new way that I did the show today. I probably will do it like this at least one more week just to, see how it all feels. Yeah, that will do it for today's episode. I appreciate you guys so much. Hit like, hit subscribe. Let me know what you think of everything. Let me know your thoughts on all the news stories. I'll be hitting you guys back up in the comments section. Take care and peace out.